to Streets of Success with Frank, Jalil, and we got special guest Kevin Nichols in the building.
What's up, boys? I appreciate you guys having me, man.
Kev, how you feeling?
No doubt.
Good, bro. A little tired from the weekend. Birds are going to the Super Bowl, so, good, but I'm just been resting up, and I can't complain. I'm good. How about you, boys? All right?
Good, man. I'm good. Excited for the Super Bowl. Excited to have you here.
Yeah.
So you're a celebrity DJ. Got your own podcast and stuff, too.
Yeah.
So, Lil can tell you a little bit how we kick things off.
Yeah, so typically we kick things off by starting like where you came from, where you were raised at,
Yeah.
how you grew up and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so where are you from?
Yeah, I grew up in Northeast Philly, so I
Okay.
like the Archbishop Bryan, that area, the Morel, Chalfont area. Grew up there, and I was just like, I played basketball my whole life, in grade school, high school.
Two guard.
I was a one, and then in high school I was a two. So didn't get any taller, so didn't go anywhere past high school. But
So you played on the high school team?
yeah,
Varsity?
Play for Ryan. Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so play for Ryan. And then from there.
How was your household? Was it just you, sisters, brothers?
Yeah, I got a twin sister, so she played basketball too.
Oh, wow.
Mhm, yeah.
Was
so
she better than you? Tell the truth.
She was a better shooter than I was, for
Yeah.
sure. She was lights out. As soon as she stepped over half court, she was in range.
Wow.
That's with my mom, my dad, my twin sister, and it's pretty much been us four. Obviously, big families, but that's us four in the house. And then, so then my parents moved to Bensalem, and then I went off to Temple for college. And then I wasn't really like DJing or anything that much. Like I started DJing when I was 16 and would do like events for friends on the side because like I couldn't work because I was always playing basketball. And then like during the summer I'd work at Chickies like here and there. And then
So like a good household and all? Like you finished, you went to college, so everything was...
I had the best parents in the world.
Awesome.
Sister was amazing. Yeah, it was a pretty like a relatively normal household. I was very fortunate to be like have parents who wanted to push me to go to college. I never wanted to go. I hated school, but I was encouraged to go, and was fortunate enough to study abroad and stuff like that. So
What you end up taking up?
I was gonna do entrepreneurship, and then so I did entrepreneurship the first year. And then I hated it because, like I said, like when you're doing entrepreneurship, it's math, it's economics, it's things like that. I'm more of like on the creative side or like that kind of side of things. And like I would have my economics class and I couldn't understand the teacher.
It's kind of boring for you.
Oh, dude, it's brutal. So like I was like my sophomore year, I'm like, Mom, like I was like, Mom, I want to drop out. Like I just like I had a great time outside of class, but in class was tough. So I asked my mom to drop out. She said, "Kev, to switch majors." So I switched to media and production, and then from there, I was fortunate enough to be picked to study in Los Angeles for 6 months in my junior year. So we did like a whole program for that. Had like an internship and was able to go out there and enjoy myself and all that. So it was pretty sick. And then came back and graduated senior year.
Okay. What was some different adversities you had to overcome during that whole process?
I mean, I feel like you guys go to college at all? You go to school?
Community.
Okay.
We went to a different college.
Yeah. So
We went to State Penn.
Okay, yeah. So like basically, obviously, when we were all growing up, I think the biggest thing for me is I always felt like I never fit in anywhere. Like I was like, no matter what I did in high school, like obviously I never feel like I fit in. And like everyone gets that they want to do something different with their life. They want to do something with their life. I feel like my neighborhood, it was always pretty like looked down upon. I feel like if you were trying to branch out, so. I always struggled with what I wanted to do and like who I wanted to be, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. And then, so I kind of been dealing with that. I dealt with that for a long time. And probably stopped once I started my podcast, to be honest, like back in 2020.
Do you think you try to do things to fit in though? Like,
for sure.
A crowd pleaser or, do things that you probably wouldn't do if you weren't with a group of friends?
Yeah, I think so. For some of it, yeah, because you never, even in high school when you're 16, 17, you never really want to feel like you're left out. But you just know, like in your gut, like you don't fit in with these people. Like, and that's a hard thing hard pill to swallow. Like I couldn't tell you a person that I still talk to from my senior class, like every day. Like I was always friends with the grade above me, had those like that close core. And then obviously you get older, people get engaged, married, have kids. And so like kind of like, not as close anymore, but I have a great group of friends now that I've been able to build from just...
How about college? Do you think that transcended into college a little bit as far as like trying to fit in and because you need a social life, right? So you're there to study, you're there to learn and potentially build a life, but you want to socialize. I'm sure parties were probably crazy.
Yeah, they were nuts.
That's why I wanted to ask you, how was the partying in Temple?
They were sick because
Or Cali, you said too, right?
Cali was awesome too. Yeah, so it was So freshman year, obviously, I lived in like a dorm. So me and my roommates would go out. We would go to like these frat parties, and obviously they're all dickheads because they're all guys, and they want girls in there, right? So freshman year was fine. Made friends with people in our dorm. I was like the floor runner. I would go get the alcohol over the weekend and go down the line and give people their natty and their Fireball and whatever. But sophomore year, I had a house. I had like a townhouse. It was a 1723, and like a lot of my friends. It was like one of those things where held my first party of the year, and there's like this group called Temple Party Owl, and it's basically a Twitter account, and you would pay them, and they would tweet your address, so that way everyone knows where to go for parties. I did that once, and
were you charging at the door or something? Like
yeah.
$5 a couple or something?
So this is a crazy story, real quick.
You said this is 17th Street?
Yeah, on Montgomery, 17th Montgomery, down at Temple, and had Temple Party Owl reach out to me and said he wanted to have a party at my house, and I'm like, sure. So he didn't charge me, so he came to the party, helped collect money at the door. And I had like girls would mark people's hands with X's. I hired a DJ downstairs. I had like security watching my I had like boys that I had who would like watch my stuff in the kitchen to make sure people weren't stealing food out of my fridge. Like it was nuts. I moved all the furniture. It was nuts. I was always like a party person. So and I wasn't really DJing at the time either. And then so we started the party at like 10 o'clock. Had some kids come in. I was like, yo, if you guys want to drink out of I had 2 kegs in the basement. I was like, if you want to drink in the kegs, they were 21. Yeah, they were 21. But they came in. I was like, yo, you guys want this? I was like, listen, there's other parties going on, but I'm telling you right now, like, there's no one here yet. If you guys want, grab some cups, drink some beer while you can pregame. I was able to sell them on that, charge them $20 a cup, and then which was nuts. But so they ended up drinking, and we had like a bunch of people came. It was like we got shut down by midnight, and like there's like a video of me, the guy Party Owl recorded it. And I wasn't drinking. I wasn't enjoying myself, but like it was packed in my house. I'm like, this is nuts for like a party. Like,
how many people would you say were there?
Dude, I'd say there's 300 people in my house. Like, I'm not even kidding you when I show you the video. Like, so I was like, you know what? I want to go enjoy myself. This is when Dreams and Nightmares like just dropped and it was hot, and went downstairs and I sat on the bar. I had like face paint on, and I had the DJ put on Dreams and Nightmares, and everyone had their flashlights out, and it was nuts. And I had like this bag of money on me. It was like probably like at least a few $1,000s of money in my bag. So so there's a video. We did Dreams and Nightmares. Not even 10 minutes after, I got the cops bust my doors down. They knocked on the door, and then they went and broke into my basement and kicked everyone out from there. I got written up. I got on academic probation and on like a community service, and it was nuts. But it was like, the scariest part was, when it got shut down, I had all my friends at the time. I was like, yo, if you guys want to come to my next party, like, you have to clean up for me, like, and with me. And I was like, where's my bag, by the way? And I'm like, what, all the money in it?
The bag of money, yeah.
Bag of money with my wallet, with all the money in it. And I'm like, oh, shit. So, dude, it's like 6 a.m. And, like, I'm on the phone with my mom. I'm like, Mom, like, I had this crazy party last night, lost all the money. Like, she was cool about it. And I start, like, crying. I'm like, dude, like, this sucks. Like, I lost my wallet. That's a whole issue in itself. I lost all the money, and I got a messed up house from it.
And you got in trouble from school?
Yeah.
Any police, like any criminal or anything like that?
Nah. They tried to get me with that stuff, but it ended up not going through. So then my neighbor walks in and goes, yo, Kev, you gave me this bag last night when the cops came, and it was all the money.
They gave it back to you?
Yeah, he was a real one, bro. They were juniors, and I was a sophomore. They were seniors, and they looked after me like I was their own pretty much, and like. Came in with the bag. I lit up a cigar, put some music on. We all started drinking. I counted all the money, and I was like, oh my God.
How much you make?
Bro, it was like around $2,000. And as a broke college kid, it was like I was a millionaire. Yeah, but it was cool. And then I had parties throughout the year, and like.
So even after you got caught throwing that party from the cops, and you're on academic probation, I guess you can say, you still continue to have parties.
Yeah, I still threw parties, but it was like a lot of like the Northeast kids, the kids from my neighborhood.
And you didn't let it get to 300 people.
Nah, they were always nuts. But that's where I kind of feel like I went wrong, and that's where like the people pleasing kind of came into play, because it was like these kids that I feel like I was never connected to all of a sudden want to be my friends, and they want to use me from my house and my basement. And like there was times when I woke up to parties in my own house, like St. Patty's Day. I woke up to 40 people in my house drinking tea lights. I'm like, what's going on? Like, it was like my friends who would let them in. I'm like, guys, what the fuck?
How many people were living in the house at the time?
There was.
How many roommates did you have?
There was 4 of us, and they were never home because they hated the environment so much, and I felt so bad. But I created this crazy environment where like, it was cool every once in a while because they could wake up, go downstairs, and look for chicks, and then if whatever. But like they hated it. Like it was not a normal household, and I know that looking back now. But it was insane. It was nuts.
Would you say that you was addicted to the party life, or you were like addicted to the money?
Nah, I wasn't even charging money for those parties. No, I was just a social guy. I was social. You know, I never got hangovers. I was young, but like now I just like. Yeah,
sure reminds me of The Hangover.
Yeah,
like the way you're talking about it.
Some crazy stuff, man. But nah, it was fun. And then that year was done. I ended up moving back home, and I'm like, yeah, it's just not.
For what, your senior year?
My junior year.
Junior.
Stayed home all junior year. And then I went to LA, and then senior year stayed home again.
So you were traveling from Bucks, what like?
So my parents moved to Ben Salem, so I was living in Ben Salem, and then would take the train to Temple, or I would drive.
Every day.
Yeah, I would commute to school. Damn. Yeah.
Okay. So you said you dropped out, right?
No, so I wanted to, but I switched majors, and then that's what like ultimately got me through it. I ended up getting through it in 4 years, which I didn't think I was going to. But
so you went out to Cali. How was that experience? How you said 6 months?
Yeah.
And do you remember any like stories or something that you can like you'll never forget from out there?
Yeah, dude. This was the era when like Travis Scott's album dropped. What's the name of it? Astroworld. When Astroworld dropped, Beer Bongs and Bentley dropped, Drake Scorpion dropped. Like this is all in that time. So like just like it was just such a vibe. Like LA, and that's when LA was. And that's before COVID. So LA wasn't like it didn't get all weird yet. So it was awesome. We went out. I did my internship a few days a week, which was really cool. I was able to like essentially what my internship was. My first one, I started working. Helping book DJs, like this DJ group. I would help book their flights and all that stuff, but like I was doing it for free, and I wasn't 9 to 5. The dude would just hit me up whenever you needed something. I'm like, I can't do this. Got a different internship, and would basically go and work events, and like essentially we would host these parties in like Beverly Hills or all these like Emmys, Oscars, like pre-parties, and the celebrities would come in and get free products, take pictures with the product. Essentially, the brands would reach out to us to buy into these tables and events.
What type of celebrities did you see out there?
So I met, first 2 people I met out there was at Ralph's. I met London Tipton, Brenda Song, and Macaulay Culkin. So so when they were like that, obviously they're together. So I saw them in the line at Ralph's, and I was like, holy shit. I'm like, does anyone else see this? Like, it's pretty normal for them. So saw them, didn't say anything to them. And then I met Deshaun Jackson when he was in Tampa. We was playing for Tampa at the time, and the Eagles won. It was like right when they won. And I told the worker, the company, I'm like, yo, listen, like Deshaun Jackson, like it's Philly, like I gotta be the one to like escort him around and talk to him and hang with him. So I was able to talk to him, and I told him to come back to Philly, and he's like, man, he's like, I don't want to go back to Philly. And then next year he signs to Philly. I'm like, something happened, but and then so it was like he was like all those people. I was like Biebers of the world, like it was such a crazy world to be in and be a part of, and like
for 6 months.
Yeah,
it went by quick.
Yeah, it went too quick, but it was great though. It was like beautiful weather. Like you just felt like there's a land of opportunity there. It was like, you know,
especially for someone like you in the entertainment world, where it's like that's the biggest probably entertainment city in the country.
Right. Yeah, it was crazy. You just felt like somebody being there, and like that's something I really struggled with coming home. Was obviously coming back to Philly. It's very blue collar. It's like cold. It's like. Things like that, and obviously Philly is Philly. We're not like bougie like that, and we don't ever want to be or claim to be. But you come home and you're like, I told myself. So when I came back home, I was 21, and I said, if I'm out in LA by the time I'm 25, I'm a failure. Like I let that be my clock, and that was like my biggest flaw because it never let me really cherish what I wanted. So then,
or what you had,
exactly was what I meant, and like, so then. I basically started DJing, and because I'm like, dude, like I couldn't do my 9 to 5 jobs. Like I got like fired from every single one, and started DJing at like a local bar, Patty Wax.
Wait, so you tried the 9 to 5 thing after you graduated?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And what were some of them jobs? Was it even anything in reference to when you went to school for?
Dude, I sold insurance. I did all these things, and I'm just like, none of it was for me. Like nothing felt felt like me. And like I did social media for a nonprofit for a few months, and like, you know, I had a hard time making the Monday meetings because I was out DJing on Sundays and like things like that, where I just know like if I don't love something, I'm not going to be all in on it. And that's probably my biggest flaw. But it's also like when there is something I do love, it's the only thing I think about. And I think that's what led to like the opportunities and like things that I've been blessed to do now, just because like I love it and I'm obsessed with what I do. And like just, you know, it's
you
just,
want to show a better result when it's something that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
So
It don't feel like work.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't even think it's about the result. I think it's just the consistency and the love of the game.
Yeah, but I'm saying that the result for other people to see your value.
Right. Yeah.
Like if you love DJing or whatever you do and you love doing it, it's going to show in your work, in your craft.
Exactly.
So,
Yep. Exactly right. And you have a painting company, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, I'm sure it shows in your work as well, and whatever you guys like do. You know what I mean? So yeah, if you love it and you're consistent, you're gonna get results, and that's like the biggest thing. You know what I mean?
So how did it start off? Who taught you how to start DJing? How did you get into it?
My cousin basically gave me an old set of equipment when I was 16, and I did like I did this girl on my sister's basketball team's Sweet 16 party. Probably the worst experience of my life. You know, I had my aux cable was broken. Like I wasn't able to like, I wasn't like, it was just like, it was rough. And then I started DJing patio acts like locally, and I taught myself how to do it, and this kind of went from there.
Okay.
So where did you go? You said you started a Patty Wax. That was your first. And how did you end up landing that gig?
Just a mutual connection. Someone asked me if I wanted to do it one night, and I was like, yeah, sure. So I ended up doing it, and I was young, so I was able to bring people out, and people would come out and drink and all that, and then started doing Sundays, with like Mike and Callie, the band. So I would DJ after them, and it was everyone. I mean, everyone would come out. It was like it was the hot spot at the time, and then just kept running with it, and then was like I kind of realized like I wanted to keep DJing. I was like, all right, how can I keep doing it? Because I wasn't making enough money. I was living with my parents still, and then I moved out of my parents' house when I was 25, and ever since then, that's when I started to really like connect with like the DJs in the industry, like in the city, because I would have them on my podcast, and one of them asked me what I truly wanted, like out of all of this, and I was like, dude, I just want to like do it for a living. Like I love playing, I love doing, like I love the whole marketing, entertainment side of what it is. So I got an opportunity to play with this guy Jason Weiss at U-Bahn, which is a club in Center City, and he ended up letting me do the whole night because he thought I did well. And then from there, I just kind of like leapfrogged into like getting booked there consistently, then bringing photographers out, bringing my friends out, and then from there it was like, and still doing the podcast at the same time, and then would leverage the relationships I got from the podcast to have other opportunities. And then last year, I obviously I kept DJing in the city. I would get opportunities to do different spots, but I knew I needed to create my own lane in order to like really get to where I want to be, which I'm still going towards. But I started a brand called Club 215, and essentially it was going to be tailgates and all that. So me and Dunphy started it together, and it was going to be like this big tailgate. Everyone was going to come out. I had sponsors. I had all this stuff. I would DJ it. And then the first one was so insane, like it was nuts. And then started like, having guest DJs. And then Conor McGregor started his stout company, right? His brand. They emailed me to DJ their first party in Philly, so I DJ'd that. And then I met with the owner of Forged, which is Doug from Ireland. Told him about my brand and my tailgates, and he offered to sponsor my tailgate. And then I told him about, because I would buy tickets for every game. All the money I saved up and made, I would save up and buy Eagles tickets and give them away for every game to like help build the brand up and the following and all that.
Wait, how did they find you?
Through Malik and Dunphy. So like, so they knew Dunphy obviously because like they would look for who like the Philly guys are really, and then they saw me like doing stuff with Dunphy, like starting the brand, and like, oh, like he's a DJ, let's get him there. So ended up DJing the first party, and then from there Doug asked if he could front the money for the tickets. He gave me money for the tickets. And then we did a giveaway video with a collab from Conor. So Conor collabed on Instagram, and it just went all over. And then from there, they asked us to do events, so I would help lead events. And like we did this big bar crawl last year on top of the tailgates and on top of my nightlife. So people will start seeing that. they start asking me to do it. And then it's just basically just one thing after another just leads to more opportunities.
Consistency.
And like, consistency and just being a good person and like, you know, building a relationship more than a transaction. You know, that's one thing I told them when I started working with them. I was like, listen, I'm here to build a relationship with you guys. I'm not in it for the transactions and all that. Like I can make money DJing, but I really want to build a long lasting relationship with you guys and anything you guys need me for. So we just build a great relationship. And then it's kind of kept snowballing from there. Like Penn State would reach out. So I did like every Thursday last semester at Penn State, which is nuts to drive to, but it was cool. It was a cool opportunity. And like,
so you're DJing at the Penn State games?
I would do Thursday nights there, and then I would come home Friday and do whatever I got to do. But you know, like there are times where I would do like Thursday night at Penn State, like I would host my night there, and then I would do a Friday wedding, a Saturday nightlife, a Sunday Eagles. So it was like nuts, but it's like that's what we all hope for. Is like I can't complain, you know, when I'm blessed enough to do these things. Doing DJing.
It's a good problem to have.
Yeah, so obviously it's tiring, but you know, it's just like I love it. So why wouldn't I? You know.
All right, I gotta ask you this: all these different events you're doing for different people all over, how did you learn how to get a feel for the different crowds? Because I've been to different parties and whatever block parties, weddings, and I couldn't get a feel for what the DJ was playing.
Yeah.
I'm like, how did you learn how to get a feel for the different crowds?
One word:
what?
Requests. I'll listen to any request you have.
Smart, man.
Like I will listen to anything you have because at the end of the day, if you're the one dancing and you're seeing and you're looking around and seeing people not moving or they're not wanting to move, it's like I want you to tell me what you think. If you say it respectfully, like if you come and say, "Yo, Kevin, could you play this or whatever?" Like, because to me, DJing is and this guy Martin that I know DJs as well. He said this to me, which is good. He was like, you're creating a world for someone to live in, right? And it's like, and it's. You know, as small as you may think it is, DJing at one spot in the city, it's like you're creating that vibe. So people want to follow you, they want to be a part of it, and that's a whole part of the brand. So like, I would take requests and like I would try to fit it in where I can because you play a song that people ask for, and they look at their friends, like, oh my god, look, and they start dancing, and it's like a whole chain reaction. It's just like also the energy exchange, you know, between people. So yeah, it's just a request, and then also just like, dude, consistency, like I said before a million times. It's all the more you do something, you're gonna pick up on it. You know, it's all. So
I want to piggyback off the song. So what song do you play every time you know it's gonna get the crowd hype? If you're like, if I know if I play this, I might save it just to.
It's a good question. I do like there's a ton of stuff, but like, I'll give you a good one. Like if I'm like this works anywhere. So if I'm at like, for example, like I was DJing Parlay for the Eagles, and I knew like I did Party Up, right, by DMX, and then I went into Be Faithful, and then I have an edit that goes from Be Faithful into Yeah by Usher. So it's like 3 heaters in a row that are from that 2000s era. Yeah. So I know that'll always hit. Then like, you know, you do like I have like some edits of like I made my own edit where it's like the Queen, it's like ayo, ayo, and then it goes into like Booyah, which is like some crazy EDM edit. So like I'll make my own stuff, and then like, you know, just try to like gauge on what kind of crowd it is. And
so, you know, like for Philly stuff, you know, like Flip Side will always get people going.
Yep, I'll go,
Dreams and Nightmares.
I'll go Lean Back in the Flip Side, you know, like Lean Back with Fat Joe, and then I'll go in the Flip Side, and then and then you just like, and then you go Bands and Make Her Dance and to pop that, like it's just all kinds of, it's like I've been doing it for a long time, like in regards to like just like the consistency of it. So I'll know like my next 10 songs. As soon as you ask for one song, I'm like, I got you.
Yeah, and then does it get you hyped to see the people like dancing to your mix? Like?
For sure. Yeah. It's like it's one of those things where like it's fun to me. Like, and I love
creating fun for people and making them happy, putting them in a good mood by the music you're playing.
Yeah, and the most important thing that I always say too is if you're making the venue money. Like if you're making because that is the most important thing no matter what. Like you are not. One thing I tell myself is that I'm not as important as I think I am in regards to that, because my goal is to make the venue money. So then that makes me money. So, so I'll just like make sure, as long as they're having fun, it's like I'm happy. And I bring it all back to when I first started. Like this is what you've always wanted and where you always wanted to be. So, you know.
Do you think you're at the point now where people actually come because they know you're DJing at that particular location?
I think part of it, I think a part of it is like that, so like it's a lot of it's the venue, the kind of venue it is, and then me being there. I like to think that people do, so I have a great support system and group of people who will come out and support me, and then new people that are there. So
What are some of the things you're looking forward to in the future? Like, because it's been one thing after another. are you just riding a wave, or do you have like projections of?
I think the one thing, I'm sure you guys can all say the same thing. Like, one thing I try to tell myself is that I'm just going to be consistent. And, it's like the easy answer, but to me, it's the real answer. Like, you can have a goal and say that I want to play in Vegas or I want to play it here. Like I have goals and I have like stuff in my head that I want to do. Like, a goal of mine that I'll try to manifest here is I want to play at HQ. So in Atlantic City, like I signed all their paperwork. I got started with them. Now I'm just kind of waiting for my first date. But that's a goal of mine. I think, and also too, like the weddings and the business that I have, like I want to just continue to stay busy, continue to deliver results and make people happy with what I do, and be able to provide for myself and friends and family. So I think the goal is to be consistent, and because I feel like if you set a ceiling for yourself, like you are limiting yourself. I never expected to do like something like, I never expected to be out with like Conor in the city, or like having like Dawkins on my podcast, or things that I'm very fortunate enough to do. So I just like to think that if I could stay consistent, making sure everyone that supports me and around me is happy and taken care of, then like I think it'll all take care of itself. So I want to be the biggest DJ is like the easy answer, but like that's everyone's answer. But my goal is to be consistent and see where it takes me,
Yeah. So B Doc, you just mentioned, how was that experience? How'd that come about? And what was the experience for?
It's crazy. Yeah. So Mike was asking me about it. So it was pretty cool. So it was like, my buddy Jordan, Jordan Spector, he's like an artist. He does art. He does card art for athletes, and he does like portraits and all that stuff. He's like one of the most talented guys I know. And I've had a good relationship with him for a while. And he told me about this card that he was doing. It was a trading card for Brian Dawkins. Mm-hmm. And he kind of pitched it to me. I was like, yo, like, if, when he comes to Philly, like, do you want to do a podcast with him? I was like, dude, absolutely. So I sent his manager and all of his people my stuff and my recent episodes, and then we did, so we had, like 3 months later we ended up scheduling it. We did it at Xfinity, and I was able to do a full hour something podcast with Dawkins, and it was like the coolest experience ever. It was like the dude just speaks to your soul, like, and it was like really motivating, because I remember when I first started in literally in my parents' loft. That's why it's called the Loft. I started in my parents' loft with just me and my boy Nick talking about life, drinking wine, and like, then for episode 100, you're doing one with, arguably one of the best Eagles players of all time, Philly athletes of all time. So it was humbling. And I told him, I was like, I started like kind of breaking down, because I was like, dude, this like is like a pretty surreal moment for me. Because like I said, I really internalize that stuff, because we can always be back where we started at any point. Like I could always be taken away from you. So kind of like started feeling emotional. And I told him, I was like, dude, I'm not supposed to be here. Like just in like how I felt with like a lot of things that I feel like I went through in my life. And he said, no, Kev, like I'm telling you right now, like you are meant to be here. Like you're meant to be in this room talking to me right now, like about this stuff. And I was like, felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulders, like, cause, like going back to high school when you're trying to fit in with all these people and they're bullying you and they're saying this and that. And then you have one of their favorite Eagles players on your podcast that they talk shit about when you started. So it's like, it was very humbling for me. And like, it was just really cool experience. And like, I got to shout out Jordan for making that happen, and like even Dawkins for being cool enough to do it. So
yeah, did you shed a tear?
Oh yeah. Well, dude, when I got back in the car, when I did the whole setup, I had my mixer, I got there like an hour and a half early. I set up everything. I hired a photographer to come and shoot it. Like I had Bobby come and use his third camera. Like we did a whole production. And it was got back in my car after we packed up, and me and my roommate Chris looked at each other. I'm like, holy shit! Like I'm like, that just happened. Like that is like the coolest thing ever. And like. And it was cool because like Dumpy was able to come, and like he got like his nipple signed by Dawkins, and he went and got tatted over it. Like there's little things like that where you can like create moments for your friends, and like also just like create a moment for yourself. You work your ass off. How many times have you guys been editing your episodes and you do all this work, and then it's like it's cool. It kind of brings you back a little bit to reality, and it was neat. It was awesome.
Yeah, it's kind of like that reward you're looking for doing all the work. It's like you get that dopamine release, or it's like a breath of fresh air, like, okay, this is working, and I'm starting to see results. And even if it don't generate income, or it's something that you got to experience for yourself, that you get to take, with you. And
yeah, dude. And like, it's one of those things where the 99 episodes before it, when you're editing thumbnails or you're editing clips, you're editing the episode itself. Like when I first started, I used to go back and individually chop up the cameras like an idiot. Didn't realize you could buy something that does it for you. So I would go and like like all these little things that I didn't realize, like, just learning steps, like it's things you learn along the way. So I would I learned a lot, and I feel like it all led up to that moment, like it's just being ready for that moment, and like, like, so it was just really neat, and like I felt like it was cool because like I was able to like FaceTime my dad, and like he was able to talk to Brian, and like it's cool to like have your family be proud of you.
It was like a proud dad moment.
Like my parents are having friends over and they're watching the episode in their room, like in their living room. Like that stuff's cool, So it definitely just brings you back to like where you started, to be honest.
Yeah, well, just to touch on what Dawkins said, that you are supposed to be there, like them late nights or editing the thumbnails and doing all that work, like it was for a reason.
Yeah.
So yeah, you were supposed to be there.
Yeah, and
it led up to it and made you ready for that.
Yeah, and I think that's ultimately leads me to think to myself like about not really worried about the results. I think you just worry about doing what you're supposed to do and like doing a good job at it. Like I didn't think that like when I got asked to do Sundays at Barstool that I was going to lead to me DJing in the parlay room for the owner's son's owner and all the players. Like I didn't think it was ever going to lead to that, but like you do a good enough job and you play for the people that are in front of you and you make sure they have a good time. That's what leads to other opportunities. And like I said, making the venue money and providing value to the people around you. So it's like everything leads to one thing to another, and just like, realizing what you're doing it all for. You know what I mean? So.
Man, that's tough. How is DJing at Barstool for you?
It's great. It's awesome. Yeah, it's a great venue, amazing people. I have a great relationship with them, and like it's just, to me, it's just fun. It's just fun being there. The people are great. Everyone that comes in just likes to have a good time. It's the music I like to play, the house music. So it's just fun. I love it. I can't.
How long? They haven't been there that long, right? A couple years now?
2-3 years, I think. Yeah, around roughly 2-3 years.
And what's your like? When you work there, do they hire you? Are you full time there?
So I'll do like. There's a guy who books the DJs there, and like there's GMs there. So like they'll ask me to do certain stuff, like once or twice a month, and then or if like the Eagles Sundays, I'll do every Sunday. Like it's things like that. I just kind of get asked to do it, and yeah.
What different people have stopped through so far there? Have you like people come from players or celebrities, stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, last Wednesday I was there, and Tristan Thompson was there. He just walked in. Yeah, I think he was playing. They were playing the Cavs or something that night.
Okay.
And he just popped in. There's been a lot of celebrities that have went there. I wasn't playing for some of them, but like you have like Dave Portnoy would show up, and like you get all kinds of people popping in there. So it's been pretty neat. I mean, I've been able to build a good relationship with like Cooper and like the other players like. So it's just been cool.
Tell Dave to be you want to be their permanent DJ.
I know, that's what I'm saying. I know.
Barstool's official DJ.
I know. That's what I mean. Keep working towards it, right? You never know.
Yeah.
But it's been great, dude. I just been having the best time ever, and like just riding the Eagles wave, man. They've been crushing it. So it's been so fun to watch.
Man, that's too tough.
So for the Club 215, so what's that consist of?
Yeah,
it's you have a page too, I believe. I don't know if you run it or whoever, but you're on it. What's that all about, and how can people be a part of it?
Yeah. So that's a good question. I started Club 215 last year, just to do tailgates. So we started off doing tailgates. I'm like, I want to create a brand that could be like bigger than myself, that I can have other people be a part of. So we started that. I made the logo in Photoshop and did all that stuff, and then started doing the tailgates. Started bringing sponsors on. And then, it just kind of grew from there. We had these two girls on, Becca and Ange. And now I have Malik is full time with it. And just
what's up, Dickhead?
Yeah, Dickhead. What's up, Dickhead? Yeah, he's been like, dude, me and him become like brothers, man. He's someone that
he's cool as shit.
Yeah, he's such a great dude, and like he's amazing. And so
is there like a female Club 215?
Yeah, so Girls in the Fly is like the other page, but it's essentially is just for the girl side. But Ange she does like the field goals and stuff, so she's on it full time. We add it, and Girls on the Fly was like the interviews and stuff, but we kind of strayed away from that just because like Ange being able to like really build her own thing. So we'll go back to that. We'll probably bring someone new on to do interviews next season. So then we brought this new girl on, Jules, who's a fitness girl. Then we have like photographers, my buddy Darian, who he shoots for us, and then my roommate Chris, and all these people who come out and support and just come be a part of it.
Any painters?
Nah, yeah, we could always use a painter, right?
Frank acts like he was trying to join.
Club 215 mural, be lit.
What Is there any like revenue from it, or are you generating income from Club 215?
So we'll have like watch parties and stuff. So we'll do that. Ange will get stuff on the side for kicking videos. I'll get stuff on the side. Obviously, Malik, it all kind of like helps build what we do currently. Like Malik's he's an influencer for Philly. Ange is an influencer. I'm a DJ. So it's like you put all of it together and you have the community that we built together. So we'll do events. We'll work with different groups or companies, and then they'll take care of us. So my biggest goal, like we've done stuff with Bud Light and all that, and like just to provide content for them and value for them and all that. And I think the biggest thing is just to make sure that the people that I'm with are taken care of. I try to take care of them, and just let it build and grow into other stuff. So it's like
that's lit.
Yeah. So
did y'all ever think about franchising? Like having different DJs all over and stuff for Club 215?
Yeah, I mean, I've been asked about stuff like that for a while, like just doing like I got to do a college stuff, like college division. I'm like, but also trying to Club 215 is us. It's not like I want it to be me.
I get it.
You know what I mean?
It.
Like in Malik and Ange or whatever.
So that's where the price value starts to go up, because when the demand's higher and you can only be in one place at one time, I gotta go to the better opportunity.
Yeah, and that's right. And I've been like given opportunities to do stuff for the Super Bowl, and I turned them down because I wanted to stay loyal to, tradesmen's and barstools and the places that I've been working with all season. But yeah, I mean, it's 1 year at a time, right? And I don't want to be that person who like thinks that all of a sudden they get a few extra calls or a few extra opportunities that they need to switch up where they
I respect
came from.
that.
Yeah, I mean, end of the day, money comes and goes, but those relationships and that loyalty just always there. So I just tell myself that if we keep going, it's gonna elevate into something else next year. Like already in a year in, it's been amazing, and like, and even just the way like Malik's been able to grow as a person, and Ange's been able to grow as an influencer, and like just like the growth has always been there. So why change now? Like I don't want to. Like one day, absolutely. Like I do look at like how Barstool, like in their like that route of like how they took where they add different talent on. I've definitely looked at that, and that's something I want to do. But I don't want to do. I want to do it in a way that doesn't saturate or ruin it. I want it to be us. If you want us there, bring people on who can prove themselves, and then you can send them to over there. It's all a process.
Yeah.
It's only been like a year or two, so I'm not rushing it. So.
Well, you mentioned the Super Bowl. What are you doing for the Super Bowl?
Yeah, we're doing we're gonna do a watch party at Tradesman's. We're bringing on this guy E-Rock. He's an Eagles influencer. He's gonna do a little DJ set for us at halftime. And then I'm gonna do Barstool after party. So it'll be cool. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
I might pop out, man.
Dude,
I might pop out with the guys.
Let me know. It'll be fun, dude. It's been great. Like, it's been so fun. We just have a good time. Sundays have been incredible. Mondays have been horrible because we're hungover. But nah, dude, it's been so fun. It's so fun to ride the Eagles wave right now. It's been such a great season, and like, yeah, we're just excited to be able to do something like that. And it's gonna be awesome.
But like, how good of a feeling is it to do what you want to do what you love to do, have your freedom, and because you're not like a permanent employee for no one, and still like generate money and make a living off of it. Like
it feels awesome. Like it's one of the most humbling things in the world, to be honest with you. And like, Jason Weiss, the guy who I told you about, who initially gave me the chance, he told me one of the first things he said to me was, the people you meet on the way up are the same people you meet on the way down. So I always try to internalize that and make sure that, I don't like to think I like to think what's in front of me, because like I said, for such a long time, I told you how I felt like if I wasn't in LA, I was a failure and I didn't really appreciate what I had. So now I always try to appreciate it, and I try to, appreciate every opportunity that I'm given. So it feels like it's such a blessing that that I'm in a position where I can work for myself and allow with what I love to do to continue to grow. So it's like a blessing, dude. And like, my parents were asking me to get a real job a few years ago, and it's like they're all on my ass about it, bugging me, and I was so in my head, and then took a chance, took a leap, and now here I am. But the job's never done, so I want to keep growing and keep building relationships. And, you guys inviting me on this podcast is amazing. Like just being able to like chop it up with you guys, and just keep building relationships and just keep growing. Like that's it, man. Just stay consistent, and because the way my mindset has been is I want to close my eyes and put my head down and wake up 10 years and be retired. Who knows how I get there? Who knows if I get there? But I just want to like, I don't want to think about the results or the next thing. It's always about the next thing, but I feel feel like if you really like take in where you're at now and you make the most of it, and I think it just naturally leads you to where you want to go. So I'm trying to like turn my brain off in some ways. So
yeah, consistent positive action.
That's tough.
that's it, man.
Just be consistent and keep positive action. Keep being productive. Whatever it is you're doing.
Yeah.
What so the podcast. What's going? You said you took a little break, or
Yeah, I took a break in December. I'm gonna bring it back after the season when things kind of slow down. So yeah, I told myself that I needed a mental break from it. I think I was doing it, every week, and like it was great. I love it, but it was just one of those things where you need to take a break from it, step back from it, kind of reset, and and just kind of see where you're at from there. And so I'm gonna bring it back after the season. So
okay.
What episode are you on now?
I'm like 130, I think.
130?
So yeah, so like I said, there are periods of time where I wouldn't do it, where I would like do it consistently. So I was pretty off and on with it. But I always tried to make sure that when I did it as best as I could. And it was one of the things I love. It's the part of the reason why I even am like fortunate enough to do half the things that I'm able to do. But I just I'm gonna bring it back for sure. I'm sure you guys love the podcast as well. Like it's like it's like therapy for me. So it's been great, and it's kind of hit on what we were saying before. Like I also, with the positive action stuff, I also know how it feels to be surrounded by a bunch of negative people and how it makes you feel like inside. So I always try to tell myself if I can at least be the positive energy in the area or in the room, then I'll be fine no matter what. So, but
That's what's up.
So you're on YouTube and Spotify, everything?
yeah, YouTube, Spotify. I use
Apple.
Buzzsprout, so I'll throw my stuff on Buzzsprout for the Apple, Spotify, and then I'll upload a video to YouTube and I'll do an initial clip and do that. But yeah, so
You do the editing and
everything.
everything.
Yeah. I try bringing other
Do you
people.
promote it a lot? Like as far as like reels and clips go?
I would try to do clips when I can. Just for me, it's just like that's the one thing I do lack is probably could be a little bit more structured with that. I'll do an initial clip, and then I'll post the picture as well. But one thing I do want to work on is clips. I had other people do it for me in the past, but I mean, it's like I didn't have the money to pay them at the time, and to me, I'm like, if you want to do it right and you want to get it done, you're just gonna do it yourself. Like this is how it has to be. Like so. Just got to build when I come back. I'm going to build my discipline up and really this work to do like 1 or 2 clips a week maybe. So just give myself a small number. Yeah. So, but.
And that's what's up, man.
Yeah.
It's a good
I want to ask you guys, how long you guys been doing your podcast for?
What we got?
A year in March.
Next month to be.
Oh, let's go.
Oh, is it a year?
In March will be a year, yeah.
Hell yeah. Why do you think you guys like started doing it?
Oh man, he just turned into the interviewer.
Yeah.
And we're the interviewees.
Yeah.
Flip it on you guys.
Yeah. We just wanted to talk about what we went through in jail, our experience. I had to save Frankie from getting beat up in there. I'm just playing.
Yeah, no
But
commissary. He asked, can he borrow something till Wednesday? I said, here, take this honey bun. You don't owe me nothing. It's fine.
No diddy.
So you were both in jail.
Yeah, that's how we met.
This
We
is
met in
my
prison.
man. Yeah.
shit.
We were slaves together, bro.
How about that?
Yeah, we were
How
slaves
long were you
together.
guys in there for?
5.5. I did 5.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
So that's
Can I
how
ask
we
what you
met.
guys did?
I had to attempt murder.
Really? Oh, wow.
Both.
Wow.
Same thing, yeah.
You guys are, I'm sure you guys feel a lot different now. And how's your mind changed? Sorry, I'm like interviewing you guys.
No, that's
but
cool.
But I'm so
I like
curious
it.
about.
I like it.
I know.
I like
No,
it.
seriously, that might be a move.
Basically, we started switching our mindsets in jail. We started reading books and stuff like that, learning business and stuff like that.
Damn.
And it started in there. Speaking to different inmates in the education building, helping them teach. We were teaching
Credit, stocks. Business planning, just being responsible, just thinking, changing our mindset, changing your thinking. And they had like fatherhood classes. They had a bunch of stuff that people didn't utilize. And I felt like while I'm here, I want to do stuff that's positive, productive. So anything like that I got involved in. And then for me, it seemed like how much I didn't know. So then I just started becoming like a sponge and just becoming curious and just kept going down that rabbit hole of like, all right, what don't I know? What can I learn? What can I apply when I come home? Yeah. And then we both got released. He got released a couple months before me. Never reached back out to me.
A month before you.
He said I had enough.
He came home 30 days after me.
Nah, he got released in July. I got released in September. He didn't look back. They said that too, like, oh, he's gonna forget about you. So I came home, I had to track him down.
Yeah.
Ended up going to North Philly, running down on him, and said, "Let's get this podcast going."
That's it, man. I love
But now we seen the wave of the podcast going. Like people are getting into them. Like we got a story we can highlight, and we know other people that have stories that we can highlight, and it can also like be beneficial to the other people that are going through stuff that see someone's story and I kind of went through something similar, or I didn't even go through that much, and they made it out of a worse situation than me. Why am I bitching, or why can't I make something of myself?
The fact that you have your own business, and I didn't really get to ask you about what you do, but like the fact that you have your own business, I didn't even really know you guys. That's where you guys came from, so it's impressive in itself. And like having starting a podcast and one thing like that I enjoy the most about podcasts too is like there's so much you can take from it, right? Like no one who watches may be a DJ, but like they've been made fun of, they've been bullied, they've been told they can't do shit. And then, you just like, it's one of those things where you overcome adversity and you guys have amazing stories too, which like I'm excited to even like learn about further, like eventually like down the line. But
thank you.
It's crazy how the world works, and people need stuff like this. They need to see this stuff, and like they don't, like, especially with how past 4 years have been. It's been like super negative, and like everyone's told that they can't do things, and I think you're gonna start seeing like a bit of a healing, I guess. And and you guys have, obviously out of jail, you're engaged, getting married, and all that stuff. So it's like, it's just cool to see you guys made it out on the other side,
Yeah, because your typical podcast, a lot of people just talk about the drama. So we wanted to hit on like value. The motivation of value.
Value.
Yeah.
Right? Like you can listen about how someone cheated on this person at whatever, but like for someone to watch your stuff and be like, like, you know what? Like, I'll kind of give this quick story, and like, which I'm sure you guys can relate to. But I had one of the reasons why like I kept doing the podcast initially was like in around like I think it was like before the Dawkins episode. I did this episode with someone who was like in recovery or something like that, and that's what a lot of my episodes were. I had like Brandon Novak on, like I'd have all these guys on, and this woman who lost her son the year before on Christmas from an overdose watched some of my episodes and told my mom that she falls asleep to my episodes because it helps her cope with her son.
Wow.
And that was like probably the hardest hitting thing I've ever felt in my entire life, to be like, holy shit, like me, like what I like a podcast that I sit and edit, like it's one of those things that, and it makes you realize it's bigger than yourself. It's more than you. It's more than about you. Like you're just a vessel, I guess you could say. But to like have someone, feel that way about something you've done is like it's motivating, and I'm sure you guys have felt the same stuff. Especially with your stories, you know what I mean? So
that's what keep us going. We get bro, tons of messages of, yo, you the reason I stopped this, and you keep me going all the time, every day.
Keep you guys going.
Absolutely.
I get so many DMs and all. It's that's what really, because we're not profiting off this, but eventually we would love to, but right now it's for the people. And even if we do make money off it, it's still going to be for the people.
Yeah.
It's purposeful. It's for me, I don't drink, I don't party, I don't go out. So this is what I do with my free time. Like, this is what I like to do. I like to sit here, like, what's bad that's going to come from this? Nothing. It's all positive.
Yeah.
So that's how I do it.
It's a good way to look at it. I mean, and I always say on every episode that I do, my grandmom gave me this quote, and she said, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change, and life is all about perspective. So seeing this as an opportunity to, one, maybe stay out of trouble, but two, provide value is like, you can't beat that. And then if you keep going, like, especially if it's something you love, you're going to learn, you're going to grow, you're going to ask yourself questions and learn different things and be like, yo, like, oh, this messed up today, or this, like for example, like there are episodes that I forgot to record. like I'm like, oh shit, like I told my, and I'm like, I'm never letting that happen again. Like I take my time, like, you guys take your time putting everything together and made it look great and made it, so you just gotta like, you just learn, but it's like, cause you love it,
Yeah.
What's crazy about our story though too is like, there's a 88% recidivism rate once you get released from state prison. So that means you have like, a high percentage of landing back in prison
within like the first year or something.
And you see it a lot when you're in there. Like you see people like come in and out as you're in there. Like they get released. They don't.
Why do you think that is?
They don't change. They probably come in and leave the same way they came in. So when they come in, they don't work on themselves. They don't take accountability. They don't try to change. They don't come up with a plan. Or they might even too, and then they get out and then they're faced with reality. They don't have the discipline to stay away from the things you're supposed to stay away from. They don't have the belief in themselves to try something different. So it's tough. But you know, Jalil just walked off parole a couple months ago.
Let's go.
I'm about to get off parole in a month. So just to do that alone is like a success story.
Yeah, it's absolutely is a success story, especially with what you guys were saying before. Like, that's absolutely a success story. And like, and I want to ask you guys too. Like, was it a long 5 years? Like, did it go fast, or was it probably grueling? Right.
What are you talking about? Being home or the time?
Being in your time, like being in there, like. Do the days go by fast?
The 5 years went by way quicker out here than it did in there. I'll tell you that.
Yeah, bro. Just
it feels like I've been home 2 years, 3 years, and I've been home about to be 5.5. And then in there, it felt like 10 years.
Yeah. Just imagine it was periods of time where they don't have to give you a shower for 72 hours. Yeah. So just imagine locking yourself in the bathroom for 72 hours. No shower, no phone call. They just sliding you your food through the door.
It's crazy.
So yeah, a lot of times it seemed like it was way longer than 5 years.
That's why I'm asking. Like,
that's why he's prepared for it. 72 hours. He goes 3 days without a shower.
I'm like, damn, that's what that was. Nah, I'm playing, but but I mean, like I said, it's to me, it's like crazy how, you know, I'm always curious as well, like how people get out and how they're able to change their mindsets, because I feel like in there it's really hard to do
changes
that.
In there. It's so hard because there's a lot of like masculinity and like ego and I'm here for this and no, don't look at me that way or don't talk to me that way. A lot of like COs antagonizing because you can't really do nothing. So it's a really negative environment, honestly.
But it's more respect. I can say that. Like you're gonna respect the guy that got 3 life sentences. You know what I'm saying?
It's a hard line that you're not going to cross with.
Yeah, you're not. So it's more of a respect thing. You're not going to play certain games and stuff like that. Like it's a respect thing. With you know what I'm saying?
Other than I mean, obviously that dude has literally nothing to lose. So like for like someone like yourself who's in there for 5 years, like how do you get the respect?
Just be you to a certain point and just keep your mouth shut and mind your business.
Find the biggest guy in the room and
nah, you don't even
that's how you came to me. Man.
No, you don't even have to. You just like, you know, whatever you're looking for is in there. So if you're looking for drugs, if you're looking to get high, if you're looking to gamble, if you're looking, whatever you're looking for is in there. If you're looking for education, if you're looking for fitness, like it's still in there, right? But it's what are you doing with your time while you're in there? So if somebody sees like you just work out, you go to school, and you know you got your little block worker job, and you mind your business, they're not going to mess with you. But if you're in the shit,
most people won't.
Well, some people will prey upon you maybe if like they think you're sweet, but for the most part you're good. But then if you want to gamble and you got a drug habit, or if you want to be rowdy all the time and prove your point, then you know you're going to come across a lot of conflict and a lot of issues. So
and some people drug problems get worse. Like I've seen guys put Suboxone strips in their eyes or snort them out of a spoon of water. And shit. It's like, bro, what the fuck?
Yeah, you gotta figure something out, right? They gotta get their fix, which is like insane in itself.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, just to go through that and then be able, like my biggest thing was like, all right, I need to adapt as quick as possible because like you're used to living like that under that structure around those people, and then you get released to society just like that. It's just literally like that. You don't get eased in like, all right, take 2 days, come back, take a couple hours, like you're just drop back into society. So my biggest thing was like the temptations, the distractions, and you know just showing everyone that I told in there that I changed and just like being able to bring it to fruition in front of them.
It's awesome, man. Well, if anyone hasn't told you yet, I'm proud of you guys.
Thank you, man.
Do you still have contact with anyone from when you were in jail with?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah.
I got like 3 to 4 people that I still contact, and some people came home and we still talk to them. You can't leave the guys hanging. I mean, he left me hanging, but I won't let the other people.
That's it. Nah, man, that's awesome, man. That's definitely excited to learn more about it in the future for sure.
Yeah, we can jump on your pod. We can talk about it. Had some questions on them for us. But this was a great episode. So how can people find you?
Yeah, you can find me on Instagram at Kev. Is it Kev Nichols _? Yeah, Kev Nichols _.
Wait, I messed up your name. How you mess up your own name now?
Nah, dude, no, because I changed my Instagram handle. I'm like, oh shit. So it's Kev Nichols _. And then YouTube Kev Nichols NICHOLS. Yeah, I mean that's pretty much. I go on
TikTok.
Twitter. TikTok, yeah, same thing. Kev Nichols. Club.215 on Instagram. We got some exciting stuff for the Super Bowl and for the year in general. So we're excited to just keep going, keep throwing great events.
What's the podcast name?
Yeah, it's called The Loft.
The Loft?
Yeah, The Loft.
I'm going to stop by The Loft one day.
Yeah, it'll be great, dude. I'm excited. I'm like less than 10 minutes away. I'm right in Fishtown. So
I'm supposed to jump on Bobby. I think Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice. Yeah. His is in his room. Mine's I have like the whole basement. So maybe we'll figure something out for sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. But I appreciate you guys for having me on, and like I said, I'm excited to keep building this relationship with you guys, and dude, like I said, it's an amazing story you guys have too. Like, it's awesome. So
appreciate you for coming on, man.
Appreciate you guys a lot.
Treat you to success.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, man. Thank you.